Hello and welcome back to FRDC at Home. My name is Michael and in today's activity we'll be showing you how to craft edible bird nests. They're an easy, fun activity, good for the whole family, and the best part is you can eat what you make afterwards, which is great. Now the Fraser River Basin is a very important habitat and ecosystem for a wide variety of plants and animals, and birds are no exception. And the estuary in the lower Fraser is particularly important because the sediment-rich waters carried downriver from the Rocky Mountains by the Fraser River has created these very fertile floodplains full of life and really good news for animals that want to build a life there. It's a great habitat and it's also a great place for birds to build nests. And to tell us all about bird nests today, we're going to go to my good friend Danica.
So some of you may think that birds live in their nests all year round, but in fact the only time that they use their nests is when they're laying their eggs and raising their young. And some scientists estimate there may be as many as 18,000 species of birds in the world. So with that huge diversity of birds, there's a huge diversity of bird nests. Now you're probably familiar with the woven nests. There are many nests in this area, like robin's nests that look like little bowls made out of twigs or sticks. But that's just one kind of nest. There's also birds that nest in cavities. So that could be a hole in a tree that they dig out. This could also be a hole in a cliff face or a riverbank. There's some birds that lay their eggs right on the ground. Maybe they build up a pile of plant material, but maybe they just put their eggs right on a rock. And there's many different sizes of nests too. So bald eagles, they use the same nest year after year after year, and they pass on their nests to their young. And every year they're adding more and more and more material to these nests. So we have found bald eagle nests that have been 30 feet deep and have weighed more than a car. They're enormous. On the other end of the spectrum, we have hummingbirds, really little birds that build really little nests. The bee hummingbird's nest is the size of a thimble. You could fit it right in the crook of your hand. And of course, they're using lots of different kinds of materials to build their nests. Obviously, they're going to use plant materials like sticks and twigs and leaves and flowers, but they may also use things like spider webs to wrap around the outside of the nest to hold it together. If they're nesting near people, there may actually be lots of garbage in their nest, bits of plastic or twist ties. And they also might be using human hairs, because some human hairs can be quite long and they're really strong. So birds will also wrap those around the outside of their nest to help reinforce it. Now, if you have really long hair, you can actually take the hair out of your hairbrush and put it out in your yard in the spring, and a bird might come along and weave it into their bird nest.
Thanks Danica. So, to crafting. First things first is you'll need something to melt your chocolate in. So today we're using a bowl and a microwave, but you can also use a pot and a stovetop. Both of them work equally well. You'll also want something to hold your nest in as you create it and to display it afterwards. So for today we're using a muffin tin, but you can also use the muffin paper liners as well if you don't have a tin handy. And most importantly, the nest materials. So first thing you'll need is chocolate, like we're using here. Any kind of chocolate works as long as it can melt. And we're also using a cereal such as these oats. Now any cereal will work. The way it'll work is the cereal and the chocolate will mix together to create the nest shape. So oats are fine, but any other cereal is good too. And the eggs to decorate your nest. So we're using a mix of fruit candy and different kinds of chocolate eggs. Really anything else could work too. You could also use nuts and marshmallows. As long as it's vaguely egg-shaped, then it'll work for decorations. So with our materials on hand, let's get to crafting. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to melt our chocolate. So take a spoonful of chocolate and put it in your microwave or stovetop container, and you want to make sure that it doesn't burn. So if you put it in a microwave, you want to microwave it for a few seconds, take it out and stir it. A few seconds, take it out and stir it. The most important thing is to not let it burn. The same is true if you're melting your chocolate on a stovetop. Keep stirring it until it's nice and runny and melted and doesn't burn. And then you want to let it cool a little bit, and the next step will be to pour your cereal into your chocolate, into your melted chocolate, and stir them all up until they're nice and mixed. Now, having done that, we're going to want to spoon this cereal chocolate mixture into our muffin tin or our muffin liner. And you can use the back of your spoon to shape it into a nest shape, so make a little dip in the middle, roughly a bowl shaped, which is how the nest is going to look. And then you're going to want to let it harden. So once it's cooled down, once it's hardened a bit, we can get to decorating. So as I say, we are using chocolate eggs and fruit candies for our craft today. But as I mentioned, anything will do as long as it's egg shaped. Place them inside your nest and make sure they're not too bunched together. There's want to have some space in between your eggs. And once it's all done, you can pop it on a plate and enjoy.
We'd love to see the bird nests that you create, so if you'd like to share them with us, you can take a photo and post it on any of our social medias that you see down here in the banner.
Thank you so much for joining us today at FRDC at Home. We really hope you enjoyed yourselves, and we're looking forward to seeing your crafts online very soon.